Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. So who is Ararat? Well, to really learn who Ararat is, you need to read my related blog post. But this tutorial is going to take the original pattern for Ararat and show you how I reworked him in Electric Quilt. And in doing so, I could ensure that all of my sections are very easy to piece using today's rotary cutting tools and techniques. Okay, I've opened Electric Quilt and I'm going to start a new project. So I will select New Project and I'm going to label this one Political Debate and select OK. Okay, I'm going to select the Image Work Table and select Import Image. And I am going to navigate to the image that I saved under Documents My EQ8 in the Images folder. And I labeled it Ararat. And I'm going to select Open. Now there are a couple of issues. One is that I have more than the image I want to trace, and the other is that the image isn't quite straight. So I'm going to start by straightening the image, and I can do that by selecting Rotate, and I'm going to select Straighten, and I'm going to draw a line from one corner of the block to the other. And then I'm going to select Apply Straighten. Then I will do a crop, and I will do my best to match the edges of the dotted line with the edges of the block. And once I do that, I will select Apply Crop, and then I will select Add to Project Sketchbook. Then I'm going to view my project sketchbook. I'm going to go to the Photo tab. I'm going to select that block that I just cropped, and I'm going to select Edit to Block Work Table. Now notice that it came in at a square block, and I need to figure out what I want the block size to be to trace that. So I'm going to select the image and move it to the upper left corner. And I'm going to count the number of squares both horizontally and vertically. And that would be 14 by 9. So I'm going to go to the drawing tools and I'm going to change the block width and height to 14 by 9. And I'm going to do the same with the snaps. And then I'm going to go back to the tracing image. And you can see that it distorted my tracing image, but if I select Distort Fit, which is under Position and Resize, it will move everything back to being squares. So then I'm going to go back to the drawing tools and I'm going to section this off, and I'm going to see if I can eliminate a lot of lines to make piecing this much simpler than the way the block was originally designed. So I'm going to take a look at that top ruler and I'm going to draw a vertical line at 1 inch. And then for the next section I'm going to draw a vertical line at 3 inches and another one at 4 inches. And then looking at the right side of the block, I'm going to draw one at 12 inches. Now I decided that I wanted to split the middle section going horizontally. So between these vertical lines I've already drawn, I'm going to draw a horizontal line at 5 inches. And then I'm going to do another one at 4 inches. And now in that remaining space that I've got left at the top, I'm going to draw a vertical line at 10 inches and at 6 inches. And I'm just going to hide show image for tracing just so you can see where all of these sections are at. Now once I have done that, I am just going to take this one section at a time And I'm going to figure out where I can eliminate lines within each of the sections. So in that first section, I only need to draw horizontal lines at 4 and 5 inches and a diagonal between those two lines. When I look at section 2, I'm going to basically go through it by row. So I've got a row at 1 inch, and I have a vertical line to break that first row into 2 segments, and one of them has a half square triangle. For the next row, I'm just going to draw the horizontal line at 2 inches, and then I'll draw one at 3 inches, segregate that, and put a half square triangle. I don't need to draw a line at 4 inches because if I draw one at 5, I can just have a 2-inch square that's going in the center. I will continue this process for the remainder of the section. And then I will go through the third section. And then I will do this top partial section, the middle section, and I'm going to make flying geese units for these particular triangles. And then the right section of the middle. And now for this middle section, I'm going to do a number of flying geese units. Even though my image isn't matching exactly, because I have snap to grid on, I can be assured that I'm going to have very perfect half square, quarter square triangles and squares and rectangles. Now I will trace the leg section. And now for the tail. And once I have this done, I can color the block. And once that's done, I can add that to the project sketchbook. Now, the block is an interesting size, so let's assume I wanted to make the block a different size, but I wanted to preserve the quality of all of my half square and quarter square triangles. What I can do is create the outline for the block and then place this block in there. So since this block is 14 by 9, let's assume I wanted to put 1 inches on all 4 sides. And that's going to make my new block 16 by 11. So I'm going to do a new block, pieced, easy draw. I'm going to hide show the image for tracing, and I'm going to change the block width to 16 and the block height to 11. And I'm going to change my snaps to 16 by 11 as well. And then I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to draw 1 inch lines on the left and the right, and 1 inch lines in between those vertical lines on the top and the bottom. And I can go ahead and color this outside with my background and add that to the project sketchbook. Now what I'm going to do is do a new block, create serendipity, and select merge block. And I'm going to scroll and I'm going to find that block I just drew on the left, and I'm going to find my elephant block on the right. And I am going to have to rotate it, so just click on the block in the center to do the rotation and select Add to Sketchbook and close. Now when I view my project sketchbook, I can take that last block and select Edit, and everything is perfectly sized and now fit into a larger size block. And this is a really useful technique if you're trying to get your blocks to fit with other blocks in a quilt. For additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com. And while you're there, check out my online classes on electric quilt.